Welcome to Sales Momentum, the podcast designed to fuel your growth and accelerate your success in sales. I'm Howard Wolpoff, your host and guide through the ever-evolving world of sales. Selling isn't just about closing deals. It's about strategy, relationships, and continuous improvement. In each episode, we will bring you expert insights, proven techniques, and real-world experiences from top sales professionals. Whether you're a seasoned closer or just getting started, this podcast will help you sharpen your skills, build momentum, and hit your targets with confidence. Let's dive in and take your sales game to the next level. Welcome back to Sales Momentum. I'm Howard Wolpoff, your host. And today we're going to have a very interesting conversation about the starting of the sales process for someone who is very experienced in the world that they work in. Our guest is a very accomplished CIO and with a number of different companies who started her own venture recently and is now really stepping into the sales world for the first time. She's been in the relationship world forever, has developed an incredible amount of relationships that have renewed their contracts with the company that she's worked with over and over and over again. But it's interesting to now see it from a different lens in the role that she has right now. Her name is Kate Hurley. She's from New York. She's the founder of Sage Inc., and she helps companies save time and money with technology. And Kate, welcome to our conversation.
Thank you very much, Howard. It's nice to be here.
Well, it's nice to have you, and it's always nice to learn from someone who really has had varying experiences and now is stepping into the exciting and challenging and just thought-provoking world of sales. But why don't you share a little bit about your background and what led you to start Sage?
Sales is all of those things, yes. So I come from the world of technology. I was the Chief Information Officer with CBRE in the Mid-South region for a long time, about 19 years. And then I moved to New York and I was the Chief Information Officer for Madison International Realty on the global side and made sure for both organizations that the technology was up and running. And I was client-facing, but I didn't have to close any deals or anything like that. So this adventure with Sage is the first time that I have had to be client facing and close a deal. I'm a second time founder. I had an organization prior where I was the founder as well, but I had a partner and I was lucky enough to be able to run operations and not have to close deals. So this is really my first situation where I'm responsible for the P and the P&L.
Yeah, it's a very different experience of having to close that moment of, and really I say moment, but it's a developing moment. It's not just whether someone's saying yes or no based on what you're telling them. It's answering their questions all throughout the conversation or conversations so that it builds to them having to make a decision. And it's very different when you're just assigned to clients and you're working with them, which is great. And you have a responsibility to fulfill their obligations of the company based on the contract, but it's also to nurture that because, as they say, it costs more to get a new client than it is to keep one. And it seems that from your uh, thorough and very active career, you've kept many clients, saving the company a lot of money and effort to outreach and get new ones.
I think that's true. I've been very relationship oriented. I really loved doing the operational side of things and helping people save and helping people become more efficient. And that builds relationships because you really have to know what people are doing. So I've worked with I've been in the commercial real estate industry for a lot of my career. So I've worked with tenants and landlords to make them more efficient and effective in what they're doing, which was really exciting to be able to run an IT department that's generating profit. That's really uncommon. So that was a really cool experience for me. But I didn't have to bring those tenants or landlords to the business. I just got to help keep them. So this is different, where I have to attract people to the organization and encourage them to stay with us. The encourage them to stay with us, well, that's relatively easy. I have an amazing team. My team is fantastic, and they're out there every day doing the best. But getting people to come in and talk to us is less simple.
So how much of your thought process went into the fact that you would be this to start the sole salesperson for this company while you're developing all the other aspects of the benefits and interactions that the company was going to be providing to the clients?
I think less than it should have. I think if I were going to advise someone else who is starting an organization, I would talk to them about that. It's not as because it's day one through day eternity. It doesn't go away. And eventually, of course, we'll hire sales staff, but you have to get to that point where you can hand it off, and that point may be farther away than you think. So you really have to consider that evolution as a big part of your startup planning.
I think that's a very key point, and I know that a lot of people don't think about that because just because you are an expert in X in technology, I like to use plumbing as an example,
Yeah.
doesn't mean that you are able to take the words and the knowledge that you have and make sales out of it. Sales is a whole skill set in itself. And it's look, there are definitely people born with it, but most of it is learned, and not many people actually go to find that place to learn it. They're trying to absorb it through osmosis as they're trying to build the other pieces of their business.
And that's two jobs. I mean, minimum as a founder, you have two or three jobs at any given time. And so you're stacking a job you don't know and you're having to learn on the fly on top of your existing two or three jobs. And it's not, sales isn't just one job. It's business development, marketing, sales. It's a lot of things. And I know a lot of operations people might have this mindset about sales that it's a little fluffy and it's just people who lunch a lot. And that's completely inaccurate. There's a lot of work and thoughtfulness that goes into this. If I guess if you're doing it right, if you're doing it thoughtfully, there's a lot of effort that goes into this.
It's very true because a lot of the work is done before you even speak to somebody.
Yep.
It's you have to have an understanding of what the avatar of your prospect is to then figure out how to find them, whether you are doing something proactive yourself, you're scanning through LinkedIn and trying to find names of people who have the right title you need to speak to. If you're creating if a funnel's been created, so they're finding information about you that you're making that valuable trade for a little bit of information for their contact information, and now you or someone is making the calls to reach out to them. That there is a lot of effort that goes into it, and then it's starting to build that relationship so that you put them in a position to easily make a decision.
That's it. And that decisioning point may take a really long time to come. It's not something where there's a switch flipped. And of course, they're going to buy your product because it's the best. I mean, obviously, it's the best, but that doesn't mean they're going to come to that decision quickly. One of the things I've learned is how long the cycle is. And I think my skills in relationship building and communication have been valuable in this, but I'm learning patience too, which has never been my strong suit, because people really need a long time to decide, and that's fine. They should take that time, and they need a lot of information from me that's not maybe directly pertinent to making that decision, and that's okay. I can provide that information, but it means the cycle is long.
It's it definitely is eye-opening to a business owner and someone who's been in so very successful in their industry to really see this side of the business. And like a lot of the sales cycle depends on the questions you're asking to people. And it's very interesting to learn about the different personalities that you're dealing with that don't have the same similar mindset as you do. So if you're asking questions as if you expect yourself to answer them, but they have a very different way they're thinking about it. It's most salespeople without the training don't understand that you have to target those questions to how they want to hear it and then respond back, as opposed to just basically, well, I've been speaking like this my entire life. I can just ask a question. It's not as easy as that.
It doesn't work that way. And like I would have made the decision by now. That doesn't apply. They're not you. That's exactly right. So the fact that I've been sitting behind that desk, it's probably helpful in a couple of regards because I do know the technical answers that they're going to need in order to make the technical aspects of the decision. But really, in other regards, it's not helpful unless I run across someone who thinks exactly like me.
I think what you're saying has a lot of value to it. If you're getting someone to sell something who just got hired but has not worked in your industry before, there is a big curve for them just to understand what they're trying to sell. They
Yeah.
want their questions, they'll be asked about certain abilities and how to work different aspects of the package that you're selling them, how it benefits their workday, and there's specific questions that go into, especially when you're dealing with technology, how they're dealing with addressing servers and making sure that everything is running smoothly with the software, and that you're dealing with payments. Payments are going through without any glitches. And someone who, as a novice, doesn't understand it, would have a lot of learning to do to be able to talk the talk. You, however, have all the back end knowledge of any question they're going to throw at you on how the operational part will go about. I think that helps the relationship because you're right there with the right answer.
It does. I can smooth that part of the process out. I always bugged me when I was on the phone with somebody and they were like, well, I'll have to call you back when I have a technical engineer. And I'm like, well, come on. Why didn't you bring the technical engineer? It's just, you knew I was going to have these questions. Um, but at least I don't have to do that. I can answer their technical questions, their security questions, their regulatory questions. So we get that part out of the way quickly. But most people have a lot of hemming and hawing to do before they're able to make a decision. I'm a pretty quick decision maker and I'm pretty straightforward. So I'll tell you yes, no, or if it's a maybe, I'll tell you exactly why. Um, I don't know if salespeople like that or not, but that's how I've always been. So at least you know where you stand. But most people don't operate that way. I'm finding that there are 17 reasons that they might have to get back to me.
Yeah, and that's a challenge for a salesperson who, for you, you're looking at the growth of the business just to start. A lot of salespeople have a budget that they're working on, a certain amount of sales they need to make in a month to hit that budget level, and there's expectations in this for the entire sales team to be hitting not just their individual level, but the levels as a whole. So yes, the not being able to maintain a short sales period and conversation process can really make those types of needs challenging when those this is the revenue that's coming in to pay for everything else that goes on in the company.
Yeah, and you don't want to waste your time calling someone back who's going to be a no, or just politely say no if you're to no, and let these guys move on. That's my view, but maybe other people see it differently.
I actually know one of the best things someone can tell you is no. It'd be
Yeah,
great if someone said yes, but the fact a very clear no allows you to stop wasting spending your time with them, that you can spend that time on somebody else. You move on to it, and maybe it's something you revisit in a couple of years. You're keeping
for
good
sure.
notes, be able to do that. But someone who's there's five different conversations, or you've allowed it to be that, so there's five different conversations, so then finally say no. There was a lot of time that you could have been making phone calls and having meetings with someone else.
Exactly. Just let them move on. Time is money.
So, what are some of the positives that you are finding from this new sales experience? Has to be some
Well, I'm
good.
making a lot of friends. I'm enjoying that. I've always been somebody who connects with people pretty easily, so I'm enjoying meeting a lot of people. And a lot of our inbounds have been through referrals. So I'm meeting people who know people that I know, and that's really fun too. And I'm getting to help people with their technology and cybersecurity issues. I'm getting to make recommendations for things, even if they don't come aboard with us. Happy to help people with small things that they need assistance with. Because when you're working with small and mid-sized businesses, there's often something that they need a hand with real quick that can make a big difference for them, even if they're not ready to pull the trigger. So those are things that I enjoy a lot.
And you bring up referrals, which is something that can be Achilles heel for a sales team that don't even ask for them. Like I deal with a lot of people who never ask for a referral and don't take advantage of every conversation to ask for
Wow.
referrals. If you're really doing it
Yeah,
right, you are spending a lot of time on the whole referral process. Sometimes companies have little bonuses that they give to people that refer someone and the person signs on. And the fact that you already started with utilizing referrals really will take you a long way, knowing the success that come from them.
we put that in every contract. If somebody gives us a referral, they get a credit. Even if they're not a customer of ours, we'll send them a gift card. I mean, Howard, send us some people. We'll send you an Amazon card.
Yeah. It's and there's great value. Those Amazon cars come in very timely when you're
That's right.
when you're always on Amazon buying something.
That's
But
right.
it's but it's the fact that people see value. There's a trade-off, and the trade-off is you're utilizing my network, and
That's right.
in trade, here's a little something, whether it's a
That's
card or a snack or whatever. It's and not everyone does that. Sometimes it's just the conversation. There are people that you think I can be of help to are there names that you can give me and different ways to develop that into the conversation and ways to develop that into, okay, now, well, why don't you take out your phone? Let's throw a couple of names out. Let's see if we can connect with somebody.
I see it as a thank you, part one, and part two, an acknowledgement of value. You did something for me, and that's valuable.
Yeah, it's very good that this is part of your beginnings of the sales process. Where do you see the sales process growing? Do you have a timeline of bringing on staff? Do you have a timeline for you stepping away of the process so you can focus on other things and adjust different hats, so to speak?
So soon. I have a hat rack in my office to remind me of how many hats I wear. Um, I will be hiring someone to do sales as soon as we bring on two more clients. That's my next hire, I think. And I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, it's great in general, whether it's dealing with sales or anything. When you have a number of things that you are holding onto or plates you have spinning, holding up in the air, and you can move on to something else that you don't have to deal with all of it, is does make your day easier. But even more so as someone who's running the company, it's you want to make sure that you have people in there who are taking full responsibility for them, so
That's
you can look
it.
at the broader pictures.
That's really it. I want someone who can do it well, who can focus on it and do it well, who has had the training, who does know what they're doing. And it's part of doing the sales and not knowing what you're doing is you don't know what you don't know. And so who knows what I'm letting slip through the cracks. It's nice to hear I'm doing some things right, but
Well,
who knows what I'm letting slip through the cracks.
well, I'm glad to help out with that
Thank
and
you.
share that because yeah, it can be daunting. Every day is daunting in sales, even if you're a big success in sales. Because okay, now it's the next phone call, it's the next deal that you have to figure out where it's coming from. So anything that you're working on here in January, you may not even know who the person is that you're going to be contacting in June at this point.
No, no idea.
So, but it does make things exciting, and especially with the company that's growing and starting out to see how they're building their future.
They're friends I haven't met yet. That's all.
It's a very good thought to think about. So, you let's go back to I want to tie this all together of really some of the strong things that you are providing on the what you're providing to your clients that you are selling and you are nurturing as the rep and other people in your company nurturing the relationship once they've come on.
So we provide what I call foundational technological services. So we'll be your help desk. We'll help you get your computer set up. We'll fix the things you break, right? That's your foundation. We'll also provide your cybersecurity services. So that means we'll help you stay safe online, but we'll also help you with regulatory requirements. Make sure that you're in line with things like HIPAA and GDPR and DORA and FINRA and all of those acronyms that we all deal with. But then we'll help you with automation and AI. Because once you have that foundation set, you can layer on the magic sauce, right? And you can go very fast. That's what we do.
And that's fantastic because it's most people don't get it. Most people don't understand anything. They want to turn on the computer and hope it works, and hopefully they've been taught different things. I know I, for one, was very fortunate that I helped a startup business where I was on the floor running cords and doing and patching into servers
Wow.
in the back and connecting computers into the server and setting up the first email system back in the 90s. And that
You're
was
one of us.
I
You're one
have
of
I have
us.
a slight background in it that has helped me throughout being the somewhat of a resource and then be able to give people answers to different technological issues that they have to address. So it's I always appreciate when there's other people to do it and who know it better than
Yeah,
I do, and they can get help everyone get it figured out.
that's great. It's good to know you're on our team.
There we go. Absolutely. So, what would be the best way for people to get in contact with you if they want to know more about your services or have the experience of being sold by you?
You can always reach out to help@sage.inc.
All right. Perfect. Kate, thank you so much. I think this was really eye-opening to me because I've had a lot of different conversations with sales, but it's really great to see someone really starting out and getting a feel for their experiences. And but it's all about growth and the excitement of where things are going to turn out. So
That's
thank you
it.
for
It's
joining
an
us.
adventure. Thank you very much for having me. It's been fun.
And thank you all for joining us as well. Sales really is a process, but you may jump into sales at different parts of your career. It really is the backbone of everything a business does. So being able to have those answers for clients, know what questions to ask, try to get that decision timeline as short as possible, and really set them up into a mode to be making a decision is valuable skills for a salesperson to develop. I know that Kate is going to develop it sooner rather than later and really have a thriving sales team, but you can do so as well. Go out, have a great rest of today, and we will see you next time. That's a wrap for this episode of Sales Momentum. I hope you picked up valuable insights to fuel your sales success. If you're ready to take your sales game even further, visit howardwolpoffswc.com for coaching, resources, and more strategies to help you close more deals and build lasting momentum. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and keep pushing forward. Until next time, keep selling with confidence.